March 5th, 2015. From El Cajon, California, this is episode 67 of You Can Bet on That. Hi, everybody. Welcome to You Can Bet on That, a podcast for the recreational gambler. My name is Mark Duvall. Sitting next to me is Dr. Mike.
Hello.
Now, Mike, your favorite sport is synchronized swimming. Is that correct?
It has been synchronized swimming for a long time.
Well, I've got some good news for you.
Okay.
Starting with the 2016 Summer Olympics in Rio,
right.
You're going to be able to wager on synchronized swimming.
Wow.
Isn't that good news?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Americans +6.
Okay. +6? What does that even mean?
I have no idea.
So, yeah, the news coming down from Nevada is that the Nevada Gaming Control Board approved an amendment to the state gaming regulations allowing wagering on the Olympics. Now, you used to be able to wager on the Olympics, and they stopped in 2001, but they've brought it back now. And so, we're going to be ready to go.
Yeah, to me, it seems crazy. There are certain things you could wager on.
Yeah.
But it seems like so many of the events in the Olympics are tainted in some way.
Yeah.
Either there's judges, or you find out later a guy was, failed the drug test.
Yeah.
So they take his medal away and they award it to the next person. So what if you bet on the American long jumper?
Yeah.
And he's favored to win.
Yeah.
And then he wins, or he finishes second, let's say, and you don't get your bet. But like 4 days later, the Russian guy fails the drug test.
Well, maybe
how do you get your money? What happens
Maybe
then?
there'll be a delay. I mean, it'll probably be in the rules. It's like, okay, maybe they will delay until after the drug test. Or maybe it's just, the initial.
You just take your chances.
Yeah, you take your chances.
I mean, I can't imagine anyone's putting a ton of money.
Well, that's the thing. This is almost a gimmick.
Yeah.
It's not like people are going to be clamoring to bet on the Olympics.
Right.
It's just one more thing to kind of get people into the casino. And, the casinos aren't going to take a lot of action on it. They're not going to, if somebody comes in and says, I want to put $50,000 on some event, they probably won't book that because, maybe the guy has some inside information or something's going on.
Yeah, right. He could know it's fixed or whatever.
Yeah.
But, I am looking forward to betting on, how many times the American long jumper will foot fault.
Well,
3 foot faults.
If you can find a casino that's taking that action, let me know. There probably will be over-unders on number of gold medals.
Right.
Things like that. Those would probably be, popular bets, that kind of thing.
That would be a funny thing, over-under on a number of gold medals.
Yeah.
I mean, you're sitting there, the over-under's say 50. And you've got 49, and there's 1 day left, and it's the men's 10K walk or something.
10K walk,
whatever. The best Olympic event I ever saw was a walk race.
Really?
The Summer Olympics in LA,
Los Angeles,
when they were in Los Angeles, the walk race. I mean, it was just a Mexican guy won it.
Was it?
So that was very exciting for Mexico. But I mean, there was one guy that finished way after the race was over. And he was from some little small South American country, and he still competed. And that day, I was at that event, and that day it was hotter than blazes.
Yeah.
And he came in just exhausted, and then they had the ambulance take him off, but he finished.
Now, was this, so this walk, was it outside of the Coliseum?
Yeah, it was like a marathon, right?
Okay.
It was like a marathon where they start in the Coliseum, and then they go on this long walk, and then they come back and it ends there. Well, it had basically ended, and they had taken down all the stuff, and other events were going on. And here comes this lone guy. He's wearing street shoes.
Yeah, right.
I mean, he wasn't really an athlete. He was just the representative of that country.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
And I mean, you had 100,000+ people standing up cheering for this one guy. Yeah. Best thing I've ever seen in any sport.
Nice.
I mean, it's better than when going to the Super Bowl.
Nice.
When I've been to the Super Bowl.
Nice. Well, this wagering that's going to be taking place, there's been some misinformation going around saying that, you'll be able to wager on everything except judged events like gymnastics, but as it turns out, no, there is no caveat that it has to be only non-judged events. It's just that it's going to be up to, number one, the casino. The casino can, take bets however they like. And plus the
commissioner of the gaming board.
Yeah, the commissioner at his discretion can decide which events, can be wagered on and which not. Yeah, right. If there's some kind of controversy behind it.
Well, gymnastics is traditionally controversial.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
Of because of the politics mostly.
Yeah.
Right. It's judges, but they're political and they're judging. So, it'd be hard. And who would bet on that anyway?
But anyway, I mean, that's good news. Anytime there's, more things that you can wager on, that's good.
It makes the Olympics exciting, I guess, if you lived in Vegas. And, you want to every day go down and place your bets.
Yep.
Boxing. What about boxing?
Well, sure. I mean, you can bet on boxing anyway.
Yeah,
right?
but boxing in the Olympics would be a good thing to bet on, kind of. Although it is judged.
Yeah, it is judged.
It's a judging thing.
Yeah. So our friends over at Sin City Talk website, they recently created a new page over there that they call a gambling module thingy. Thingy, yeah.
Okay.
And it's very nice. If you go to the page, there are all sorts of different topics that you can look up on gambling. And on the right-hand side of the page, there are a bunch of different menus where you can select specific games. And they go into quite a bit of detail into, how the games are played and strategies and that kind of thing. So we wanted to give a shout out to them.
And is it sincitytalk.com?
Sincitytalk.com. Yeah.
Okay.
So head over there. I wanted to give them a shout out last episode and I forgot. But they obviously put a lot of work into it. And so, go check that out. You're going to be going to Vegas next week, right?
Next weekend, March 13th through 15th.
So Friday through Sunday.
Yeah, we're going to stay at Caesars again. Remember, we were never going to stay at Caesars again?
Why do you stay somewhere else?
Yeah, I don't know. I just always gravitate to there.
All right. And this is the thing. I wanted to go to March Madness.
Yeah.
How come we're not going to March Madness?
Well, it just didn't work out for my schedule. This worked out better. My wife's cousin's son is having a baby the following week. He's scheduled to have a baby. Yeah. So it just was a bad time.
All right.
Plus, in March Madness, you really have to be there on Thursday.
I know.
Which was rough with my work schedule.
Yeah.
So,
So I'm not going. It's just you.
It's just me and 5 other people.
Yeah.
But
so you're going to be there. You're doing a lot of family stuff and what have you, like on Friday and Saturday. So if somebody wanted to meet up with you.
Sunday morning would be good.
Sunday be better. Because you have
maybe Saturday between like 9 a.m. and noon.
Okay.
Might be good too in the morning.
Right.
Because most of the family, at least all the women, are going to be, getting facials and massages and manicures and haircuts and stuff like that.
All
stuff that,
non-gambling
related stuff. Yeah. And even some of the guys, actually. And I'll be playing craps.
All right. Well, I'll tweet, your availability. But if listeners wanted to plan a meetup right now, probably Sunday morning you're thinking. Sunday early afternoon, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Probably Sunday between, say, 9 a.m. and 2.
Okay.
Would probably be really good.
Now, the Riviera is scheduled to close on May 4th. So are you going to head over to the Riviera?
Yeah, I was telling my wife about that. We may have to do that. We may take a cab down there and see the Riviera.
Can I say something?
Sure.
You're not going to do it.
Probably not. I'd like to, but I probably won't.
Nope.
It'll be hard to get away from the table.
Exactly. You're not. You're going to think, I don't want to spend time in a cab going down there.
And I'm going to tell the other 5 people who are with me who aren't real big gamblers.
Yeah.
Let's go check out the Riviera before it closes. And you know what they're going to say?
What?
No way. I want to stay here and play craps.
Well, I encourage you to try to do this because it's your last chance to go to the Riviera. I was looking, I keep notes of, trips that we've taken. We haven't been to the Riviera in like 20 years.
No, it's been a long time.
Rarely are we at that end of the strip anyway.
I might surprise you and go.
You better.
I might surprise you and
go.
Come
back and report.
Maybe everyone goes to bed Friday night. I get in the cab and go down there myself.
Good. Okay, good.
I'll tell you a funny thing that my wife told me today. Our friend Jenny, who's going with us, she told my wife, she said, "Oh, I don't really know how to play craps, and I've always kind of wanted to learn. Do you think Mike can teach me?" Mm-hmm. And my wife said, "That's what he does. That's his thing.
That's his job."
Yeah, he'll do that.
Good.
So I plan on teaching a little craps.
Okay, good.
Not that anyone should listen to what I say.
But we've said it before. You're a good teacher. You're just not a good player.
I'm not a good player.
That's right. Yeah. So every week I generate these TV listings showing all the gambling related shows coming up on American television. Right. And I put that as part of our app. If you purchase our app, that's one of the things that you get. And I've been looking at the downloads, and not many people are downloading the TV listings, right? So I'm toying with the idea of actually posting them on our website. Okay. So that it's free to everybody. But I don't want to kind of anger people maybe that have paid for the app, which it's only $2, but still, paid for the app. And then, oh, hey, I paid for the TV listings. Now you're giving them away for free. So I just want to make sure it wouldn't, kind of
let's do
rub people the wrong way.
If anyone listening has a problem with that, call or text
or email
us
or let us know.
email
Anyway,
whatever,
get a hold
and
of
let
us.
us know that it's a problem, and we'll see if anyone has a problem with that.
Yeah.
Probably you're not going to have too many people.
I don't think so. And the thing is, I look at these listings every week and it's like, oh, wow, there's a lot of good stuff coming up. Maybe we should start talking about it on the show. But, a lot of times it's just, I forget to mention it.
Okay,
and it's just buried in those TV
Well, how many
listings,
people actually have paid for that, you think, just roughly?
Oh, I have I can tell you, I don't have the figures with me. I can tell you how many people have bought our app, but I can't tell you how many people bought it specifically for the TV listings as opposed to our bonus audio, right?
Okay,
So,
right.
So,
as I was going to say, I'd be happy to refund if somebody specifically wanted that, and now it's free.
Refund the $1.99.
I'll give them the $1.99 back.
All right.
It's in free play.
All right. Oh my gosh. Both of us have a terrible cough. So
Yeah.
Try not to make me laugh too hard here.
I'll give them free play, and then I'll charge them a resort charge for listening.
Oh my gosh. Hey, we want to thank everyone who's been clicking through our Amazon link. Remember, when you're going to buy something through Amazon, go to our page first, youcanbetonthat.com, and click through our Amazon link at the top of the page. That way, when you make a purchase, we get a little kickback that helps cover the cost of hosting the show, and it doesn't cost you a thing. You'll pay the same price just like normal. A lot of people have been going to through our page too. We really do appreciate it.
We appreciate that immensely.
Yeah. So on the last episode, we had a segment called Ask a Dealer, and I think it was very well received.
Good.
We've already gotten some more questions for our dealer. We're not going to answer them tonight, but I just want to let all our listeners know to keep sending us questions, and we'll pass them along to our dealer friends, and they'll answer it. And yeah, this is a
Nice
great
thing
segment.
is they have a lot of knowledge.
Yes.
That we don't have. We probably gambled longer because we're older than them.
Yeah.
And, we've been in casino maybe longer if you added up the time. Yeah. But they have inside knowledge.
Oh, we don't have it.
Have.
Sure. Yeah. We've never worked at a casino, either one of us. So, yeah. We got a post from Drew on Facebook. He was asking about, we ever played at a table, one of those real small craps tables?
Yes.
The example that he was giving, if you've ever seen a heads-up poker tournament on TV, these real small tables.
Yeah, they call it the boat.
The boat.
Some people call it
the boat. Right. So they're small craps tables, typically with just one dealer.
Right.
And maybe seat for like 4 or 5 people around there.
Right. Yeah, usually 4 or 5 people.
I don't know that I've actually sat down and played, but you certainly have, right?
I have. Yeah, definitely. I don't like it.
No.
No, because it's kind of slow. The dealer has to do everything.
Dealer has to do everything,
And if you're like me and you're making prop bets, it's hard on the dealer.
Yeah.
You almost feel bad, like, oh, okay, I won't make any prop bets, just,
Yeah. And now this was years ago. Was it like at the old marina? Does that sound right?
Yeah, I believe the marina had one.
Yeah.
Did Harris have one years ago?
Oh gosh, maybe. Harris Las Vegas.
There was a time where it was kind of popular.
Yeah.
And a lot of casinos had one.
Yeah.
Like, it was so weird. It was just this little table. It doesn't make sense, really.
And you're all kind of sitting around. And is there like a tub to throw the dice in? Or?
No, it was just this little table, and you just rolled it like Monopoly dice.
Really?
Just basically shook it a little and threw it down.
I just can't imagine that being quite as fun. With fewer people, and like you said,
it's slow. There's fewer people, so there's less going on.
Yeah, less banter and
right. And it takes the dealer a while. They have to. Well, first of all, they've got to call out what it is.
Yeah.
They got to set the stick down.
Right.
They got to start paying or collecting or do whatever they do.
Yeah.
Then they got to place more bets that people make.
Yeah.
Then they have to pick the stick back up and get the dice and slide. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, for just one dealer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't seen one of those for some time.
Oh, I haven't seen one in years.
Yeah.
I kind of even forgot about them. But they were popular for a while there.
Yeah.
They probably went the way of Chuck-a-Luck.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah. Next time we see a Chuck-a-Luck, I'm playing.
You're going to see
me.
one at my house this weekend when you come over.
Really?
Yeah, it's not a Chuck-a-Luck, but my daughter got something that stores in like cosmetics, and it looks just like a Chuck-a-Luck.
Can you turn it and have it spill out?
It doesn't turn, but it's got the 2 things, and it's got the thing in the middle. It looks just like a Chuck-a-Luck thing.
All right, folks. Well, I'll check it out and report back to you, maybe.
When she got it, I thought, someone gave you Chuck-a-Luck for your birthday.
We got an email from listener Justin. He was asking about hometown casinos. Let me just read to you what he said here. He said, my question for you is, when you are gambling away from Las Vegas, do you choose a casino based on where else your comp/reward credits can be used? He's close to a Horseshoe Casino, which is a Caesars property. And he goes on to say, and Total Reward System seems to have the most Vegas options. But I'm curious to know if the casino atmosphere or rewards club has more of an impact on where you play. And I responded to Justin. I basically said that's not the most important thing. And I gave him 3 criteria that basically we use when we determine where we're going to play.
Tell me them.
Okay. First of all is, do we enjoy ourselves there? Right.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the crew, the accommodations. Are we having a good time?
That's probably number
That's
one.
number one.
Yeah. Because even if, you get a lot of comp, if it's a terrible place to play, we usually don't end up there a lot.
Right. Number 2 would be just the comps.
Yeah. Because we definitely want comps.
Right. Especially if it's like a local, it's one that's nearby our house.
Right.
Right. If we're going to be going back to it, comps.
Frequently.
And third was, the availability of Las Vegas comps, transferring to Las Vegas.
Right.
And I put that last only because the other 2 seemed way more important to me.
Well, they are to us because our number of Vegas trips per year has gone down.
That's right.
Since they have Southern California gambling.
Yeah, right. And
when they didn't have that, we went to Vegas frequently.
Exactly.
And that wasn't even an issue because you had to go to Vegas anyway.
Right. And I'm sure there are plenty of people around the country who are experiencing the same thing. They have casinos close to them now. So even though we love going to Vegas, I would never put that too high a priority on whether I play to the place or not.
Right.
It's great if it's, a benefit of there. But
especially for us, and here's why. Because we like to gamble.
Yeah.
So whether we're at Harrah's locally here or we're at Harrah's in Las Vegas, the gambling's kind of the same for us.
Yeah, that's true. Right.
Some people go to Vegas and gambling is like the third thing on their list.
Yes.
The shows, the food, the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And that's something you can't get here locally.
Right.
You can't get the Vegas experience.
No way. Right.
But, if it's just gambling you're after, then yeah, it's the same for us either way.
Yeah.
So we might be a little different than, say, a lot of people.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, because we go to Vegas to gamble, first and foremost. Yeah.
And we do other stuff, but that's our second option,
Right.
I very rarely get a facial.
That's right. Very rarely.
Very rarely.
Well, at the spa.
Right, at the spa.
Okay, so we are actually lucky here in that we go to Harrah's, Southern California, and it satisfies all 3 criteria, right?
Right.
We love playing there, the people. Great comps, and it carries over to Las Vegas.
Right. So
yeah.
That answers that question.
All right, let's go to our voicemail hotline. Don't forget, give us a call at 951-292-4377. That's 951-2-WAGERS.
951-2-WAGERS.
And maybe we'll play your clip on the show. Let's hear from Ryan.
Hey, guys, what's going on? I thought I'd call and say hello. This is Ryan. Been a few shows that I said what's up, and I haven't been able to gamble in a while, man. I've been having an itch. Looks like April 25th, or whatever that weekend is, Las Vegas it is. Real quick, I had a question about online gambling. I've never done any of it. Don't really trust it. And, are you really going to get paid? Is it really legit? One idea I had, and I don't know if this is legal anywhere, but hear me out. This is a game I wouldn't really hesitate to play. Is if there was a craps table somewhere with live cameras on it. And online on the website or whatever, the app, you could bet on that live game where there were real random shooters coming up to it. I don't know what you guys think about that. If that's legal anywhere, and if that's a game you would try out and play online. What do you think, guys? Hope everything's well. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.
It's interesting.
Yeah. Now, what was interesting is that a few years back, I was listening to, I think it was the Ante Up Poker Cast, and one of their listeners didn't trust the random card generator for poker games on online games, right?
Yeah, right.
And
I could see that.
Yeah. He had this idea where, there'd be like a live shuffled deck, right? What they draw cards from, right? To actually play. Right. And of course, that's not practical. I mean, think of, all the online poker games that are going on at any time. They're.
Well, it's not practical. And it'd be just as easy to cheat in that.
Yeah, that's right. There's no guarantee.
Because how do you know the feed you're getting is really. I mean, what if it's pre-taped?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I mean, it could all be set up.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I mean,
the thing, I love this call though, because it's like, okay, well, yeah, first of all, it probably would never happen. The logistics behind it
would be hard, right?
But would I play? I might play.
I'd probably play.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, didn't we talk about this on an earlier podcast where it was the April Fool's one, right? Where They were going to have cameras at the craps table at Excalibur.
That's right. CBS was going to devote an entire evening of televised craps. That's right. Yeah.
Maybe we started that. We put a bug in some ear.
I'd love this idea, though, even though I don't think it would ever happen, because then maybe you could have multiple people playing the same game. I've never played craps online because I fear it.
Right.
But I imagine that when you're playing online, you're just playing by yourself against the computer. It's not like there are other people at the same table playing.
Right.
That's my guess. If I'm wrong, let me know. But, this might be a case where you actually do have, a community of players on one table
all
playing this game.
Hoping for one good roll.
Yeah,
I don't know. How would you regulate that?
Oh, it'd
be so hard to regulate.
Let's not talk about the reality of it happening, but I would play.
I would definitely play if especially if it was one of those free money things, right?
Yeah.
Where you weren't putting up your own money. I would definitely play.
Sure, of course.
I'd probably be playing in between patients.
All right. Let's hear from Vegas Fanboy.
Hey guys, this is Adam from Vegas Fanboy. I was just calling to let you know about some craps updates from my most recent trip. So I met up with mutual listeners of ours, Kyle and Chris. We met up at the Downtown Grand, but we kind of got in the mood for craps, so we wanted to just kind of see what Fremont had available. We originally walked over to the D, but found that their table was pretty packed, and it was a $10 minimum, and we were kind of in search for a $5 table. So we actually ended up heading over to the Golden Gate, which did have a fairly wide open $5 table, which is nice. They had two tables running. One was pretty packed, one was open. And based on the suggestion from the dealer you had on the last show, I actually kind of changed my strategy in terms of tipping and decided to make some bets for the dealers. I typically didn't do that. I would always just kind of do a straight tip. And so I played some bets for them, and all of them actually lost. So it didn't work out. I actually ended up just giving them a straight tip after I left. But I do find it interesting what you guys talked about last time about the idea that craps players don't tip as much. And I think for some reason the ebb and flow of a craps game just doesn't really lend itself to proper tipping, right? So I would think of like in a poker game, if I win a big hand, I'll typically tip the dealer. And I see the same for most players. Or like blackjack, if I win a few hands in a row, I'll tip the dealer. But since like long periods of time and craps can go by without, a win or a loss or certainly a big win, it does seem like it's a pretty odd game in terms of tipping. But anyway, other craps-related news. You guys know that one of my favorite craps games is shoot-to-win craps, which I think is really nice, and you guys have talked about it too. A really nice way for new players to kind of learn the game cheaply. I actually found that most casinos that I went to had $2 minimums on the shoot-to-win craps machine, and Aria actually had a $1 minimum, which is really cool. So if your listeners are looking to kind of learn craps and gamble in a really nice casino, Aria is one of my favorites. They should definitely check that out. Anyway, guys, love the show. Thank you guys so much for your support, and I'm looking forward, as always, to your next episode. Take care.
All right. Always good to hear from Adam at Vegas Fanboy. Have you listened to his latest episode?
Not the very latest one.
He found the bunker.
He did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. See, now I haven't listened to the latest episode.
You got to go
I've been busy.
Listen to the episode, and then he has some pictures, too.
Oh, God, I'm going to listen to it on the way home.
Okay,
now.
good. Yeah.
My wife and I, Adam, get the biggest kick out of that bunker story.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, she'll just look at me and said, don't get the bunker. Like, I'm going to the market, and she'll just real quietly, don't get the bunker.
All right. So if you don't know what we're talking about, go back and listen to a Vegas Fanboy episode where, he talks about the bunker. But anyway, it's interesting. Tipping at craps, I never really thought about it. We have talked about how fewer people tip, but it's true. Kind of the
dynamics of the game is not set up well for tipping.
Yeah, because if you're in the middle of a hot roll, I know there are a lot of people. It's like, well, don't tip now, right? You're going to mess up the roll, right?
Right.
And if they lose, then they're not in the mood to tip.
Sometimes I always tip at the beginning of every roll.
Yeah.
But in the middle of the roll, especially when it's good, I feel like, if I make a bet now, it'll 7 out, they'll lose, and I'll feel bad. So I just don't, and I try and catch them at the end.
Yeah.
But there are so many times you've seen me do this where I'll give them $20. The point will be like 8, and I'll say 20 outside for the dealers.
Yes.
So 5 on the 4, the 5, the 9, and the 10. And then, the person will roll 6s and 8s the whole time. And, maybe they win one bet and that's it.
Yeah.
And you feel like, oh man, you know, they didn't get anything out of that $20. But that's the way craps goes.
Yeah. I think what I'm going to start to do, because this actually got me thinking about even the way that I tip, is anytime I win on the pass line, I'll just put like $1 on the pass line for them on the next, next hand.
Or you could just throw in $1.
Yeah, I mean, that's another way to do it too.
Did you see what I was doing last week?
What was that?
With the fire bets. So the dealers can only have up to $5 bet on the fire bet for them.
So,
just like us.
Right. So if like 6 people have put an additional $1 as a tip for the dealers on the fire bet, well, that's $1 too much for them.
That's $1 too much for them, right? And so they'll either pick it up and drop it in the box, or they'll ask somebody like, "Oh, we're over. I'll take your $1 off. What do you want me to do with it?"
Right.
And I always tell them, put it on like ace deuce, or put it on 2, or put it on 12. And if it doesn't come up, then I just give them $5 to drop in the box.
Yeah, nice.
So they make money either way. Yeah, that's a good,
you're a good tipper, Dr. Mike. There's no question. You're the best one I've ever seen.
That's a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, the best, and I was doing this a lot in Atlantic City. The best thing is to, place the 6 and 8 for the dealers for $1 each in Atlantic City, because by law they have to pay themselves $2 when it hits.
The problem is that's the only place you can do that.
Yeah, it's too bad you can't do it anywhere else.
You could do it here for $1, but they just get $1.
But yeah, he makes a good point. I'm going to really think about the way that I tip too, because it's true. And when you're at a blackjack,
you're going to think about it, and then finally, screw it, I'm not tipping. This just doesn't work.
Oh, they're so good at where we play, though. And then, the shoot to win machine, $1 machine at Aria. That's great.
That's great, yeah. Especially for somebody like Adam said, somebody who doesn't know how to play.
Yeah.
That's a good way. The only thing I don't like about shoot to win is there's a time limit.
Yeah, we've talked about this. They're the machines, right? These automated craps machines.
And they have to have a time limit because, there's
do.
people, you can't have, waiting for one person while another guy.
Right.
I mean, if they had a button that says, okay, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Well, what if 4 people are ready and another guy's just, dicking around, talking or something?
Yeah.
So they have to kind of have a time limit. But to me, it kind of gets frustrating that time.
Well, it's not for a player like you or me, right? It's for a
But even that, I mean, sometimes I don't get my bets in quick enough.
Here's the thing. We talked about this. There should be a longer wait time once a point has been established. Because that's when everybody makes their wagers, right? So it can be like, 20 seconds normally, but then make it 30 seconds, right? As soon as a point's been established.
So you can place all your numbers.
Yeah, all your bets out there.
Because a lot of times after that the second roll, the third roll, you're not doing much.
No, right, exactly. Maybe you're not doing anything,
you're
right?
Probably not doing
you're just
anything,
waiting. Yeah. All right, one final call from Miguel.
Hi, guys. This is Miguel, friend of the show from Santa Ana, California. Just calling to, you mentioned in a previous show that wherever you visit other states, you always try to visit the gaming establishments there. And I was thinking about that great place to visit, which is Hawaii, and what a great time I usually have there. And gosh, next time maybe I'll check out some gaming there. Except that I think there's no gaming in Hawaii, and there's one other state in the union that doesn't allow gaming. And I thought, would you guys, out of protest, perhaps not visit those 2 states? And what is that other state that doesn't allow gaming? And I checked out some websites, and I guess the big proposal was they were going to put some sort of slot machines at the airport for passengers who are stopping there doing layovers to play, but the people of Hawaii would not be able to use the slot machines. So anyway, I was wondering what your feeling was toward these states that don't allow gambling, and gosh, what do you do when you're visiting Hawaii? Sounds boring. Okay, I'll catch you guys later. Thank you.
All right, so the 2 states that don't have gambling are Hawaii and Utah.
Right.
No gambling of any kind. Lotteries, nothing. Right.
Now, so some states just have lottery.
Right. There's some that don't have casinos.
They don't have casinos.
Sure.
They just have lottery.
Right. Well, here's the thing. I like Hawaii. I've been a few times.
Yeah.
I think for me, not having casinos in Hawaii is a good thing.
Yeah, for me too. It's a very good thing.
Because,
what's their reasoning though? Why don't they have?
Well, I think they don't. I don't know. I mean, they don't want to make it the destination for gambling. I mean, it's a destination anyway, right?
Right.
So why do it? Why?
Yeah, I just wondered if they were, like Miguel said, worried about the people there. Like they could have it at the airport, but they wouldn't have somewhere else because they're worried about their people.
There is a certain amount of poverty in Hawaii. There's no question. So
right. Yeah, they do have a large population of.
Well, anyway, for me, no. When I go to Hawaii, I'm glad there aren't casinos there because I'm usually there with my family, and that's the last thing I need is like, well, when are we going to the casino?
Right. Well,
I like these waves. When are we going to the casino?
Yeah, I think of Hawaii. I think of family things.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm fine with that. Now Utah, I could care less. Really. I mean,
Well, and plus, when Utah, we've talked about this too. It's not, when you're in Hawaii, there's nowhere else to go.
Right.
In Utah, if you're in Salt Lake City, it's less than 2 hours. You just head west on I-80 and you're in Wendover, Nevada, and you've got casinos and there's gaming there.
It's not much longer than it is for us to drive to Harrah's Rincon.
Right. So, just because you're in Utah doesn't mean you don't have choices. There are plenty of people who come in from Utah right into Nevada on the south part too and go to Mesquite and what have you.
Right.
So,
Sure. Right. Yeah. As a matter of fact, when I was in Mesquite, half the license plates in the parking lot were Utah license plates.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah. So, all right, let's talk about roulette. It's not a game that we talk about too often, but I thought what we could do on this episode is just kind of go over the basics, maybe for people who have never played before. Maybe, people know what it is and, know that the ball spins around and what have you, but maybe aren't familiar with some of the details.
Right, or some of the payouts, how you're paid out.
Exactly.
And then at the end, you can give us a winning strategy for roulette.
Oh, I sure will. Yeah,
give us your winning strategy.
So stay tuned for the winning strategy. All right, so most people I'm sure have seen a roulette wheel. It's a wheel with a bunch of numbers, a bunch of different colored numbers around it. They're numbered 1 through 36, and there's also a 0. And on American roulette wheels, there is also a 00.
Just to screw you a little more.
Right. So European wheels typically only have 10 on them, along with the numbers 1 through 36. American roulette wheels have a 0, a 00, and then the 1 through 36 numbers.
Yeah. Now, why is that?
To get more money. Yeah, I mean, there's no other reason. It raises the house edge.
Like they don't have a big enough edge.
Yeah, I know. There are some places you can find European wheels here in the United States. There are some casinos in Las Vegas.
It should be casinos like O'Shea's, right? Oh, O'Shea's, we have no 00.
Normally, it's going to be like at a higher end casino or like in their high limit room, something like
the
that.
Venetian.
Yeah,
the Venetian.
The Venetian that only has 6 to 5 blackjack. Yeah,
I can't do an Italian accent.
I can't. So those are the two different wheels, and it's important because there is a pretty significant difference in house edge. Anyway, something that's unique about roulette is that when you go up to the table and you give them their money, you don't get regular chips like you would at other table games with denominations on them.
Yeah, no printed denominations on the chips.
Right. Typically what you'll do is you'll go up, you'll give them cash, and then you will ask for
a color of chip.
Right. They will give you a specific color that only you as a player use.
Right.
And you let them know what you want each chip to represent as far as money goes.
Right. And that kind of depends on the minimums at the table.
Right.
I mean, if the minimum's $1, you can't ask for a 50-cent chip.
Well, sometimes you can.
Well, yeah, I guess you could. Yeah. You wouldn't ask for a quarter chip or something. Probably
see,
not.
I don't want to disagree with you too much. But if it's a $1 minimum table, I bet you could ask for quarter chips. Yeah. I mean, if they have quarter, I mean, it'd have to be a sawdust joint, but but good luck finding a $1 minimum table these days.
Right. Well, a lot of times though, they want you to put a dollar, whatever the minimum, let's say it's $5, they want you to have $5 on each number.
Right. Something like that. Okay. So.
And you can get the color you want.
I guess you could. I've never
that
asked.
No one else has that color. You can.
I assume so. I've never asked for a specific color.
I go walk up. Give me the fuchsia. I'll take fuchsia, and I want them for $10.
Yeah. Okay. So good example. Let's say you bought in for $1,000.
Yeah.
I want the fuchsia chips, and each one's going to represent $10.
So they'll give you stacks of 20. Typically.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So if they're $5, that'd be $100.
Yep.
And if, they're $10, you'd have $200 in a stack.
Yeah. And typically when I play, I'm in a low roller roulette. I'll just say, okay, here's $100, give me dollars.
Right.
And so the chips that they give me, blue chips or whatever they are, they put a marker next to that color so that they remember how much my chips are worth.
Yeah. You know what I like about that?
What's that?
Is that, so you buy in for $100. You want dollar chips. You're going to get 100 chips.
Yes.
Stacks of 20, that's 5 stacks.
Yeah.
When they slide that to you, don't you feel great?
Oh, sure.
You feel like,
It's like
oh
a
my
big
God, I got lots of money here, right?
Yeah.
And nobody else knows what they are.
Unless
They come up and look, you tell these are $100.
And the reason they do this is because there can be quite a few people around the roulette table.
Sure.
And the betting areas are fairly small. So this is how they determine who has made a wager. They look at the color chip that's out there.
Right. Of course, if they just use regular chips, and let's say we all had dollar chips, well, how would they know if it's my dollar, your dollar? Can you imagine the fights?
Oh, sure. Yeah,
that would happen after that?
Exactly. And then, of course, at the end, when you're done, you give them those chips back, and then they give you real casino chips that then you can take to the cashier.
They convert it. Right?
Yeah, right. Exactly. So let's talk about some of the bets on the table. So all the numbers are laid out on the felt, 1 through 36, along with the 0 and 00. The numbers are, each one is either red or black.
Except for the 0 and 00, which are usually green.
Yep, usually
and
green.
O'Shea's.
Yeah, and pretty much anywhere. Yes. And those are the areas where you can bet on specific numbers or groups of specific numbers. Those are called the inside bets.
Right.
All in that part of the layout. Then on the outside of that part of the layout are the bets that are called the outside bets. This is where you could bet just on red. You're betting that the number that comes up is red.
Right.
Just on black. Just on odd or even. Just on the first
12.
18. Well, yeah. You could do first 12, second 12, third 12. The first 18, the second 18. You can bet on the columns.
You can bet on, each column 1, 2, or 3.
Yep. Those are called the outside bets.
Right.
Okay. So when you go up to a table and it says, just for example, let's say it says a minimum $5. The minimum usually means, okay, if you're going to bet on the inside, all of your bets have to total at least the minimum. So in our example, at least $5.
So you could have 5 $1. I could put $1 on number 3, $1 on number 7, $1 on number 8, and as long as I totaled $5, I'm okay.
Yes, exactly.
We believe that's the way it's played.
And the reason we're saying this is because if you remember, we had a trip to Caesar's Palace a while ago where the dealer told us the complete opposite, and then the pit boss came in and said, no, she was wrong. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
But this is typically how it goes. So those are on the inside bets. Now, on the outside bets, each bet has to be at least the minimum for the table.
Right. So you couldn't put $1 on red and then $1 on the first 12 or whatever and add up to $5. They have to be $5 on each one.
Yes, exactly. So that's how the minimums go. And, if you've got a question, always ask your dealer, but that's how it goes. And then there are a lot of different ways that you can bet those inside bets. If you put your wager on the line between two numbers, that means you're betting on both those numbers.
Right. So if you'd put $1 between, two numbers like 12 and 13,
yeah,
then you're betting 50 cents on 12, 50 cents on 13.
Yeah, exactly. Well, sort of. They don't say it that way. What they'll say is if you hit either one of those numbers, it'll pay 17 to 1.
Right. Instead of 36 to
35 to 1.
35 to 1. 36 for 1.
Yeah. So there are ways to bet on 3 numbers, 4 numbers, et cetera.
Right.
A bunch of different things. And it can be kind of a fun game. Now, the problem is there's a pretty good sized house edge on roulette. And when you're talking about an American wheel, it's pretty shocking. It is a 5.26% house edge on American roulette wheels. And that's the best bet at the table. There is nothing lower than a 5.26 house edge bet at the roulette table. Now
compare that to just a pass line bet at craps.
Yeah, right. Or even there are even some carnival games that are better than that.
Well, just a bet on blackjack, right?
Yeah, how many table games are there where the best bet at the table is over a 5% house edge?
Right. Well, so would you rather play 6-5 blackjack or roulette?
I'd rather play 6-5 blackjack.
Yeah. I mean, statistically, it's better, right?
Of course, yes.
Morally, it's irreprehensible. Well, I can't say that word.
Yeah. Reprehensible?
Reprehensible. Yeah. There you go.
Now, if you do find a European wheel, then the wagers have a 2.70% house edge, which is still not that great.
And look at the difference. That's taking away 1-0.
Yep, exactly. Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. All right. You wanted me to, and so we're not going to talk about the different payouts that some of the wagers can
You should
pay.
link them to the.
But yeah, I'll link to the Wizard of Odds like I usually do. And he, goes through it very
Do this
clearly.
for our next podcast, just as a real quick thing on the next podcast. Give me all the different possible wagers at a standard roulette table.
Give them, what do you mean give them to you?
Well,
List
just the number. I just like to know the number.
Oh, like every possible.
Yeah. Like, okay, you can bet on 4 numbers. You can bet on 2. You can bet individually on 1. You can bet, first column. So what is the total number of different wagers?
All right. So would you consider a wager like on the 1 and 2 separate from a wager on the 2 and 3?
No, type of wager. So that would be the same type of wager.
Oh, well, I could.
You know how they have the ones where you can bet on the end and you get the whole line.
Yeah. There's
the whole row instead of column and stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot of wagers.
There are, but there aren't that many.
I've never really added it up.
All right. I'll
think about
maybe.
that.
All right. I don't know if I'm going to.
Yeah, I guess individually betting on each number would be the same type of wager. So there'd just be one there.
Yeah.
Boy, if you added up all the possible wagers.
See, that's a more interesting puzzle to me, is to come up with every possible wager you could make.
Yeah.
Because I can tell you after the podcast, so I could probably go through and list all the other ones. But,
okay, we'll come up with every possible wager.
I'll try to do that. I'll probably have to write a program or something, and then I'll come up with a figure, and then I'll contact the Wizard of Odds and say, "Hey,
did I do it right?
Is this right? Am I missing anything?"
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
I'd be curious to see how many wagers there are.
All right, that's a good. That'll be a good puzzle.
So if I have to put $1 on each of them and make every single possible wager, and it should just be across the board.
It would take.
So I'll take them all. 1.2 million across the board.
They just take all right, you're going to lose this amount no matter what comes up.
No matter what comes up.
Congratulations. Yeah. Okay. So we wanted to talk about a good betting scheme for roulette. Here's what I would say. There isn't one.
Okay.
All right. Here's the thing. Are there ways to win at roulette? Maybe, if you find a biased wheel or you're good at tracking the ball or something like that. But for sure, there is no way to beat this game simply using combinations of bets on the table.
There's no math way to beat this game.
There's no way. You can't say, well,
You're
if I bet
to tell me that if red comes up 12 times in a row and I bet on black, I'm not going to win? I mean, can black come up? I mean, is red going to come up the 13th time?
Maybe. What's your question now?
Remember our good friend Ken?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we had this friend and we went to Vegas, and I can't remember how many times red had come up.
Yeah.
He's watching the wheel, and how they post up what was the last number.
Yeah.
And red had come up a bunch of times.
Yeah.
And so he just loaded up on black a bunch of money, and sure enough, another red.
This is the funny thing, and it's part of the gambler's fallacy, right? To think that, black's more, and you could argue, it's just a stupid argument to say, red's come up so many times, I bet it'll come up again. Right? It's stuck on red.
Right. So, I haven't seen a green in a long time. Zero's coming out. Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, it seems like roulette is like that classic game that really feeds into the gambler's fallacy, right? Where people think
that's exactly my point. They think there's some kind of magic to it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, did you notice that 3 of the last 20 rolls have been 12? 12 comes up more, and so they bet 12 every time.
Oh, yeah, or like a martingale system on black and red.
Yeah, you see that a lot. You see that a lot.
Yeah. So anyway, that's roulette. Again, we don't play it very often because of the house edge. That's the big part. It can eat up your bankroll pretty quickly.
I'll tell you what's nice about roulette, though. Every once in a while, it's just relaxing to set it at a roulette table.
Sure.
And you have a lot of time while the ball's rolling and stuff, so you can talk to other people. Yeah. It's a social game.
Sure.
And, it is great when you when
you hit a number. When you hit a single, sure.
Yeah. Do you remember this story? I was in Harrah's, Las Vegas with Pam, who used to work with me years ago.
Okay.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And we had just walked away, her and I, from a craps table, which I had won at.
Okay.
And she said to me, do you ever play roulette? And I'm like, not really. And she said, Mike, just put $100 on some number. Because I had just won, like 1,000 or something.
Yeah.
She says, just take 100 and put it on a number.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? And she's like, 12. Put it on 12. 12 red. And I'm looking at her and I'm thinking, Pam, you're out of your mind. Why would I go waste $100 that I just, suffer to win at the craps table?
Yep.
So, we're standing there. The guy spins the wheel. Sure enough, 12 red. $3,600.
Would have been 100 plus 3,500. Yeah.
They would have been. I would have.
But you didn't make the bet.
Didn't make the bet, but we laughed about it. She brought that up for years.
All right. See, it's just one of those stories that ultimately is not a very good story because you didn't make the bet.
Yeah, but it's just funny that, I mean, I was trying to be the good gambler, and that's not like me, right?
That's true.
Because normally I would have just said, all right, here, put this 100 on red, 12 red.
Nice. All right, well, that's going to do it for this episode. Be sure to download our app for your mobile device. You'll get access to all our episodes, quick links to contact us via Twitter, Facebook, email, and our voicemail hotline, and you'll get bonus audio. On the bonus audio for this episode, geez, I don't know. We just sounded like a couple of old men complaining about the good old days and how they're gone, right?
Yeah, well, that's what we are. A couple of old men who complain about the good old days.
It started out kind of talking about resort fees and charges, and then it kind of went off the rails. So if you just want to hear us gab, have a listen. With our app, you'll also get TV listings that I talked about earlier, showing all the gambling-related shows coming up within the next 2 weeks. I update those listings every Wednesday using a program I wrote myself to search through all the raw American TV data. Again, let me know. Maybe I'll start making that free. I'll just put it up on the website. To download our app, go to our webpage, youcanbetonthat.com, and on the left-hand side of the page, click on the link that says how to download our app. We have a link for Android devices and another one for iPhones and iPads. We'd love to hear from you. Call our voicemail hotline at 951-292-4377. That's 951-2-WAGERS. Or you can email us at youcanbetonThat@gmail.com. Also, follow us on Twitter at YouCanBetOnThat. We always tweet when we're in a casino or on our way to a casino, and we'd love to meet up with you. And I'll be tweeting on your behalf when you're in Las Vegas this coming weekend. Good. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/YouCanBetOnThat. And finally, head on over to iTunes and write a review on us. When you do, it helps us get new listeners.
Yeah, so I'm just laughing to myself here thinking about our good friend David in North Carolina. Remember, he sent us a voicemail and he lost his job because he spent so much time researching casinos in the area for me.
Yeah.
So, David, we're going to get that free TV listing for you.
Oh.
Whether it turns out it's just going to be in our show notes or it's still going to be on the app, we should get it to David.
Okay, yeah.
Because, he's got time.
From a bone. He's got time to watch TV now.
Watch TV now that he's unemployed.
Yeah.
So.
Nice. All right, thanks for listening.
Good night.